I'm going to take a series of a few different videos just to show you putting together the validator that I'm building. So I've just got had my hard drive arrive, so that's this one here, next storage, and you can see on the picture there it's got a heatsink. They're actually really tiny. I thought they were going to be a little bit larger than that, so it's quite small. I'll unwrap it in a second, and I'm putting it into an Intel NUC. So this one's a generation 12 i7. So this one, well, the reason why I've chosen this one, this is actually a taller model. You can get a shorter one. The taller one, you can tell it's got this extra storage bay here, so you can put a larger 2.5 inch drive in it. The reason why I went with that is I was intending to use the hard drive with the heatsink on it, so I needed that extra headroom in the unit to be able to fit that in, and that's what I want to show people is that possible? Can we actually get that in here? So I haven't tried it yet. So I'm going to open this little sucker up, and we'll see if we can get that in there. I haven't got my proper RAM hasn't arrived yet, so I've just got some other sticks that I've just chucked in there temporarily, but that's neither here nor there. That won't make any difference to these videos. But yeah, I'll unwrap this and take the lid off and we'll have a look. Okay, so all I've done is I've undone the 4 screws on the base here, and I've unwrapped the hard drive there. And the trick with this is, so there's actually a cable under here. Let's see if I'm trying to do this one-handed, so just bear with me. So take that off, and so what I'm concerned about, well, not concerned, just something I have to be wary of, is you've got this big heatsink built into the case, which is good because it means that any heat off the hard drive would flow into this copper plate and then actually be dissipated through the steel chassis as well, that's good. It's good from a heatsink point of view. What I'm trying to do is put this little sucker into the hard drive slot here. Now if I do that with this, you can see the thickness of the heatsink is quite large. If I do that, then obviously this bit here is not going to close down on the lid. So I don't know what's going to perform better, whether you're better off leaving that on and just having it resting right on have this tape resting right on top of the hard drive without the heatsink, or with the actual heatsink. But I'm going to give it a crack with the heatsink. So what that means for me, I'm going to remove this part of the chassis. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and show you and see how we look. And I'll actually insert this into here as well. Okay, so what I've had to do is, I'll just get a little screwdriver so I can point. So I had to undo, there was just two screws holding this main heatsink in place, and then obviously you've got this section here, which is where you plug in your 2.5 inch drive. So I've had to loosen all that off as well. So I'm actually removing all of that off. So I've gotten rid of all this heatsink component. All I've got to do, just got to figure out how to disconnect this little ribbon cable here, just so that that's all out of the way. So I'll be putting that in the box with the rest of the spare parts and not using that on this particular build. So I'll just have the actual open chassis there. You can see I've installed the hard drive in there, and the tiny little suckers, and hopefully that's good enough cooling for this. It's got quite a lot of fins there, and the fan, there is a fan in the box here, so that should blow cool air across those fins and hopefully be enough to keep this. Okay, that was pretty painless getting that ribbon cable out. I just had to, that little white section there, I just had to sort of pull that up a little bit, just click it up a little bit. To be honest, it probably would have been easier to do before I put the hard drive in, because the hard drive sort of sits over it a little bit, but I managed to get it out regardless anyway, so that was pretty painless. Okay, so I've got all that back together now. You can see I've got the 2.5 inch drive bay that's stayed out. So obviously if you are planning on using that as a bit of storage, that's going to throw a spanner in the works for you. But if you're just going with the M.2 storage device like I have, it would be fine. I don't know if you can see in there. Let's see if we can get a bit of an image in there. There's plenty of space between, is that the right side? That's the side I'm after. So there's plenty of space for air movement and between the chassis and that heatsink, so that should be fine.